Jerry Sternadel was a Texas millionaire rancher. He discovered his wife and bookkeeper had stolen thousands of dollars from him. A few weeks after he demanded the money back, he ate lunch with his wife and bookkeeper Debra Baker, as he often did, and suddenly became deathly ill. While in the hospital, doctors were mystified as to how an otherwise healthy, energetic man could become so deathly ill. The dying man told everyone within earshot that his wife and bookkeeper were killing him. His wife Lou Ann said her husband was hallucinating from drugs the doctors were giving him. Lou Ann pretended to be a caring wife, as she and her close friend Debra Baker allegedly continued feeding her husband food and drink laced with arsenic poison. The millionaire knew he was dying, and knew who was killing him. He begged for his life when he was in the hospital. He valiantly fought for his life while strapped down to his hospital bed with restraints on his hands and feet and tubes in every orifice. He died in the hospital several days later. An autopsy revealed he had ingested extremely high lethal levels of arsenic. His death certificate affirmed that Jerry was given arsenic over a period of time until lethal levels finally killed him. When a bottle of the arsenic poison was found in a storage locker the bookkeeper Debra Baker had rented, she was arrested and charged with murder. After his death on the hospital bed, an anonymous caller tipped off the police about a $350,000 life insurance policy the widow stood to gain from his death. The murder began a horrific fight with the devil for the millionaire's ex-wife Jeannie Walker, as she pursued justice for her ex-husband and their 2 children. Jerry's ex-wife Jeannie Walker said Jerry Sternadel was a millionaire and healthy as a horse when they were married. Things changed when they divorced and Jerry married someone who was money-hungry. The devil he married and his bookkeeper conspired to get his millions. He trusted them and they repaid his trust by feeding him massive amounts of arsenic poison. At the 1994 murder trial for bookkeeper Debra Baker, the prosecutor painted a picture of a hate triangle. Jerry Sternadel hated his wife and wanted to divorce her. Debra Baker hated her boss. Lou Ann Sternadel hated the thought of losing her lavish lifestyle. The prosecutor's theory was that Debra Baker killed Jerry Sternadel so he would not divorce Lou Ann. It was a shaky motive to be sure, but it was hard for the jury to get around the fact that arsenic was found in a storage shed rented by Debra Baker. The Clay County jury weighed the evidence and found Debra Baker guilty of first-degree murder. But apparently, members of the jury felt the widow had made Debra Baker a scapegoat in the arsenic murder. They surprised everyone when they sentenced the convicted killer to 10 years probation with a $10,000 fine. The district attorney and others said the sentence Debra Baker received was a travesty of justice. During the many hours of testimony at the murder trial of the bookkeeper Debra Baker, Lou Ann was nowhere to be seen at the trial. The widow did not attend one day of the murder trial. The prosecutor was obvious in his theory that the wife and bookkeeper were confederates in a conspiracy to murder Jerry Sternadel for his money. Even though the jury showed mercy to the bookkeeper, she did not appreciate their leniency. For 8 years, she broke the rules of her probation and scoffed at the criminal justice system. In 2002, the prosecutor had her probation for murder revoked. The bookkeeper exhausted many appeals in her effort to stay out of prison. But in 2003, she was sent to prison for the murder of Jerry Sternadel. There is still a mystery surrounding the murder. Despite her husband's dying declaration testimony and the obvious motive, the wife was never charged or brought to trial.